My name is Carol, and I'm a lead volunteer at Connecticut Dog on Recovery. I would like to share with you our statistics from 2024 on how dogs get lost and the 5 main reasons why. I'm hoping that by sharing this information, it will help you and all of us to become more aware and proactive to how to keep our dogs safe. Let me say first that accidents do happen. What I'm trying to do here is to reduce the risk. All of our volunteers have heard numerous times from lost dog owners how awful the experience is to lose your dog. It resonates within each one of us. Last year we had 982 missing dog calls. Almost every single incident fell within the 5 basic reasons as to why this happens. That being said, let's take a look at them, starting from the largest statistic down to our lower end. And so the top reason is at 23% left outside unattended. Typically, these are people who routinely let their dogs outside to do their business, to enjoy the air, enjoy a little time outdoors, and the dog usually comes in until they don't and they call us. When we get involved, what we discover a lot of times what happened is the dog either chased something chased the dog, a predator entered a yard, there could have been a loud noise, or a loud noise, thunder, lightning, something that scared the dog, and the dog ran. If the dog is new or not new to the area or not totally comfortable yet in this environment or totally bonded with the family, this can make the situation or this statistical data higher because this dog is not as comfortable in the environment, is more prone to taking off and not returning home. Number 2 on the list is ran out of door. That's at 22%. And until your dog has a good threshold training where it will not cross the outside door without your permission, it's good to use baby gates. We especially if you have company, you should use a baby gate at all times because not all of your guests are going to be dog savvy to the situation. And sometimes they might even leave a door open, allowing another guest in, but that gives enough opportunity for a dog to run out the door. We've also had family members talk to us about that and say to us that, they found their dog outside or they came home and they did not see their dog indoors and they must have gone out with them when they left. Again, things you can do are to put up a baby gate when you're leaving your house and when any household member leaves the house. Always check to see if the dog's behind the gate. If it's not behind the gate, putting it behind the gate. Or you can make sure that everyone's hyper vigilant and making sure that dog is nowhere near the door when you're ready to go out. If the dog is unfamiliar with the situation, unfamiliar with the area, getting it to stay in the area or come back is going to be a lot more difficult. The next statistic, number 3, 18% broke through a fence. And unless you are 100% positive your dog will not dig out, climb out, or jump out of your fence, you should have it on a long line which you can hold. And that way, if the dog decides to try this, you have complete control of the situation and make sure the dog stays contained in the yard. If you have gates on your fence, making sure they're locked so that the gates are intentionally or unintentionally left open or opened. And this way you have control when you know those gates are open and when they're secured. Remove objects that are around the fence line, such as tables, chairs, anything the dog can use to help it get over a fence. And that even includes, you got to watch out too for like tree stumps. If they're pretty high up, that dog also might use that to help it get over a fence. We should also touch base on electric fences. If you have a dog that has a high prey, play, or hunt drive, the electric fence is probably not going to work well with this dog because that dog has a higher likelihood that it's going to take the hit to do its thing. If the dog has heavy fur and is very thick, the prongs will not be as effective either. The third thing I can say about electric fence is it does not prevent predators or other animals from coming into your yard. The fourth way is through leash, collar, and harness situations. Collars and harnesses should be at least no more than 1 finger spacing between the harness or the collar and your dog's skin. Anything more than that, and there's a chance your dog will be able to pull out of it. Now, for situations like that, there is a martingale collar you can use, which will cinch up if the dog tries to pull either direction, so it won't slip over its head. What we recommend with dogs that are a little bit more nervous, a little bit more challenging, or wanting to, or nervous in the environment, is that you use a 2-leash system. You use a harness and a martingale collar on your dog, and one leash is on the harness, 1 leash is on the collar, 1 leash is in your hand, and the other leash is clipped to your body. You can use a carabiner, which clips onto your belt, not a belt loop, but an actual belt, or you can use, there's also a product available where you can have a waist clip and you can clip your other leash onto that. And this way, if you're hiking and you slip, if you're on slippery conditions and you fall, if the dog tugs at your hand and the leash slips out of your hand, you still have control of your dog. The dog is still attached to you. With that said, I'm going to give I'm less receptive to the idea of retractable leashes, because in that situation there, if the dog gets out of your hand and you lose grip with that retractable leash, you now have that banging behind the dog and spooking it more and making it run further off. The last thing I want to talk about is unleashed and ran. That's the 5th way, and that also is at 14%. We cannot tell you how many times we have heard our lost dog owners say to us, "This never happened to me before." And of course, my thought about it is until now. And there's a reason why I'm saying that, because no matter how good a dog is at staying at your side or coming with recall, 14% of our lost dog statistics say otherwise. It's a decision you make as to whether you want to make that, take that risk or not. But the one thing I will say that I would be more stressful about and want you to think about is if that dog is going to a sitter, a pet sitter, then I would definitely ask that person to keep your dog on a leash. Why? That's a person that's not your dog's person. It's new, or not somebody the dog's very comfortable. It's not you. It's not its pack. And it may or may not be in its own yard, but then it's going to escalate the amount of the dog being anxious or nervous, and then make it a higher probability rate that this may happen to your dog. I hope you found this helpful. We plan to have more videos in the future, and also to delve more in depth in some of the conversations we're even having here today. And we'd like to have some online conversations with you, like live chats, where you can talk to us in dialogue and have questions to ask us, and we'll try to help you out best we can. All right, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this.